Welcome to Van Lathan's The Red Pill, where we give you the brutal truth of reality. We have a very special episode today, man. We have Dennis Graham on the show, writer, musician, actor, and also Drake's father. We talk about a bunch of different subjects, including when he knew that Drake was going to be a superstar, his own musical beginnings in Memphis, how he started this thing way before Aubrey was even born, how he deals now with thirsty thoughts in Hollywood that want to fuck him just because of whose father he is, and what's next? What's next for this dude who is giving so much to us, literally wouldn't be no Drake if it wasn't for Dennis. This is an amazing conversation. One more added to the OG Chronicles. Pop some pills, listen, learn, and respect. Lauren, you probably seen around town. Young Lauren, she loves rappers.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's one of her
Have we
things.
met before, Lauren? Okay.
Lauren, think about hard in the cortex of your mind, Mr. Graham. You've probably seen Lauren. There's nothing wrong with loving rappers, by the way. There's nothing wrong with loving rappers. We're ready to go. Listen, you guys got to do something. We do this every single week, but this week we have royalty in the building. So I need the white people and the black people in this room. Give me a round of applause for Mr. Dennis Graham, you guys. Give it up for Dennis Graham.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Now, we've had a lot of guests. We've had Charlamagne the God. We've had Dame Dash. We've had a lot of people, Tay Diggs. But I am specifically interested in talking to you because I don't think that people really know and comprehend your place in music
Right.
as much as they should, outside of obviously you're Drake's dad.
Right.
But Dennis Graham has been involved in setting the foundation for hip hop and for popular music in general long before that. Why don't you tell them a little bit about your musical contributions from way back in the day?
I started playing when I started playing in clubs at the age of 15, 16. But I started playing with, I worked with Isaac Hayes for a while. I played with Al Green. I played with Jerry Lee Lewis, Mickey Gilley, Willie Nelson. All these people started in Memphis, Tennessee. And that's where my music background comes from. So.
Right. So, and then even on into the 70s, were you a part of Graham Central Station?
No.
You weren't?
No, that's my cousin, Larry Graham.
Okay.
Larry is a bass player.
And the slap bass that he invented
Yes.
is really the prototype for a lot of the beats and a lot of the sounds, the hip hop sounds that we use today. So when people wonder about the kid and all this stuff, it's in you guys' blood almost.
Yeah, he started that. He started all that slapping the bass, and that's what gave rap its beat.
Right.
Back in the day, from the older rappers. So he started it.
So tell us a little bit about your story. You're touring, you're playing with these musicians, you're doing this, and then was there any point that it stopped for you, or because it seems like now your music career is taking off again, and you're recording a lot and you got some projects coming out a lot, but was there any point where you were a little bit maybe less productive, where you stepped back from it, or have you always continuously been making music?
Yeah, I've done music all my life. That's all I've ever done. When I met Drake's mother, Sandy, we had a factory. We owned a factory where we did silk flowers and mirrored grand piano coffee tables and oriental screens and things like that.
Right.
And I think I did that for about maybe 5 years. Yeah.
Right.
I took off some time then, but I was still playing at night. I would go to the factory and work during the day, and I would go and play at night. So music has always been there. So
Always been there.
I was in Toronto, and I was in Toronto for 26 years.
Man, so let me ask you this. You're from Memphis, right?
Mm-hmm.
For somebody that grew up in Memphis, because I used to go down to Memphis. I'm from Baton Rouge, right?
Right.
So we would go to Memphis for the Southern Heritage Classic. All of my boys was a football, big football game there at the Liberty Bowl.
Right.
Black college situation. A lot of stuff that happened in Memphis. It's got to stay in Memphis, Mr. Graham. I gotta be real with you, okay?
Beale Street.
Yeah, all the whole nine.
Yeah.
For somebody that's from Memphis, a place, even climate-wise, it seems to be the polar opposite of Toronto. How did you do 26 years in Toronto? That seems like a much, much different place.
Toronto, you're going to have the 4 seasons: winter, spring, summer, and fall. Every year, you can count on it.
Right.
And the snow up there is not like Minnesota,
Right.
where it's absolutely hurting. The humidity up there is different, so it's not as cold. I mean, ice is going to be cold anyway,
Right.
but not that kind of hurting cold like Chicago or Minnesota.
Right. But
So-
it's my question, I guess, is it's a lot of white people up there. Do they season their food up there? Because you're from Memphis, right? You're from Memphis, barbecue and all of that stuff like that. Culturally, how did you, exist in a place like Toronto?
Toronto is one of the most multi-ethnic places on earth.
So I'm wrong about this.
Yeah.
I'm very wrong.
Yes.
This is why we have you here,
have,
Mr. Graham, to
every-
educate me.
Yeah, you've got every ethnic group in the world in Toronto. Toronto is a lot like New York, actually.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
Toronto itself, but if you go to Montreal or Vancouver, Vancouver is more like Japan.
Right.
Montreal is more like France.
Mm.
So it's a big difference. Yeah.
So how'd you find yourself in Toronto? What made you go up there?
I went up there with Jerry Lee Lewis.
Oh, so you were actually doing music. That's what brought you to Toronto?
Yeah, I went up with him. We had a show at the, where were we? The Skyline Hotel. And that's where I met Drake's mother.
And then you just stayed?
That wanted to show. No, I didn't stay. I went back to Memphis because I had just left California. And I went back to Memphis, and Sandy and I communicated over the phone. And I went back up there, and we hung out, and I was back and forth, and finally I
You guys fell in love, basically.
yeah, basically.
Right.
To say it, put it bluntly, yeah.
Fell in love.
Yeah.
And little did you know that love would produce the biggest rap act in the world. Let me ask you this. You had, and this is something like me and my father talk about stuff all the time. My father always says to me, he goes, you only have one job in this world, man.
Right.
He's like, to take the lessons I gave you and go further with them than I did. Because my dad always says a lot of this stuff that I learned,
Right.
to be honest with you, I learned it, but I learned it a little bit too late to put it into your life.
Right.
What is it like seeing all of this stuff happen for somebody so close to you? That's so wild. I mean, my mother sees me on TMZ and she freaks out and calls the newspapers.
Right.
You know what I mean? To see what's happening to someone so close to you, what is that like, man?
It's wonderful. I mean, like, this is what he wanted from the age of 5. Actually, I tell this story a lot. When he was maybe 7, he said, Dad, I'm going to do more music than you ever did. I'm going to do more movies than you ever did. Because I was an actor in Toronto for a lot of years.
Right.
And I said, okay, well, we'll make a bet. I'll bet you $5 that you can't do. I'll bet you $5 that you can't do more music or more movies than I've ever done.
Dennis, you lost, man.
I gave it to him in 2009 on his tour bus. I gave it to him.
So it brings you a lot of joy to see your son be able to break new ground and stuff.
Oh my God, you have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just, especially when he first started. I mean, like his 2009 was like, it blew my mind. like wow.
Do you have any idea how much like Drake tripped us out when we first started listening to it? I had never heard of it. The song comes on, right? Mm-hmm. And everybody, all of my boys, and I'm a little older. I'm 37.
Right.
So the music that I come up listening to is Wu-Tang, Pac, Big. These guys are serious about rap. Mm-hmm. They're serious about everything in their rap.
Yeah.
It's hardcore rap. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Of course, there was variety. There was, Tribe and stuff like that. But like I remember listening to Lust for Life for the first time, and in the middle of the bar, Drake starts singing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know what these emotions that I'm having are. Mm-hmm. But I just know that I would like to have them again. Like, he changed music.
Yeah, he there's a little story behind that too. He had different people singing on his tracks. Actually, Trey Songz was the first one to do a track with him, singing. He had a little guy named Voice, but that didn't work out. So Trey Songz did a song with him. So I asked him, I said, Drake, listen, man, you can sing. You can sing your own stuff. You don't have to wait for somebody to come and do a track with you. Sit down and sing with you. I'll get on your track. Mm-hmm. I said, you got it in you to sing. And started singing. Yeah.
Changed it. Now everybody sings. Yeah, now you almost can't do a rap song without singing.
Yeah, we used to sing together. We sang together.
Because that's more your style of music, right?
Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah.
So a lot of that stuff comes directly from you. You know what's also interesting to me is that, okay, so you were around popping, doing things in what, like the 70s and the 80s, right?
Right. Yeah.
And now you're around popping, doing music, and we also see you quite a bit out in the Hollywood nightlife. Mr. Graham likes to get it. We all know this.
I'm not ready for a rocking chair yet.
I feel you.
Put it like that.
You know what I mean? I feel you. We always hear about how wild the 70s were.
Yeah.
And how much was going on.
Yeah.
How does it compare to now? Is it wilder now, or was it wilder then?
It depends on what aspect you're talking about, because we had weed back then.
Right.
So they got weed now.
Okay. Those things are consistent.
We were mostly more like hippies back then. I was.
Right.
So I played in, hippie bands and, did the hippie thing back then. But now it's quite different. This is, when I go to the club, we used to dance back then.
No one dances in L.A.
Yeah, no one dances anywhere.
I was explaining this to somebody. Like, I had somebody talking to me like, yo, I'm going to come out there. we're going to dance. I'm like, if you come into L.A., you're not going to dance.
No one dances anywhere. It's like everybody stands around. I tell my girlfriend sometimes, I'll tell her, I said, I know I'm not going out tonight. I'm not going and look at a bunch of people standing around looking at each other. That's all they do.
Right.
Play records and look at each other.
Yeah, it's weird because here's the problem with it. So, first of all, in Baton Rouge, you go into the club, you leave sweating.
Right.
That's how much we dance.
Right. Yeah.
You go into the club, you leave sweating.
Yeah.
The problem with the club in LA is that it's a series of tables where everyone's standing up. Now the music's on too loud for you to talk to anybody.
Right, exactly.
And there's no dance floor for you to dance.
No.
So the club is really you drinking overpriced liquor and just looking at everybody.
Looking at everybody, standing around looking.
Right. People tap me and they go, look. I'm like, what? There's Kanye West. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that this bottle wasn't $2,000. Man, I need more than that for my club experience.
That's what they do. Stand around and look for people.
So you feel like it was more fun then?
It was more fun.
Without a doubt.
You had actually had conversations with people. Mm-hmm. You interacted. There's no interaction now.
Right.
It's just standing around. And girls are not going to jump around and dance now because they might lose a piece of their weave or they might sweat and their makeup runs.
Right. So you think because everyone feels like right now, you mentioned something earlier with the weed, like the drug culture now is a lot different too. I always would hear about from my Uncle Ray about the cocaine usage that was going on in the 70s, and he would know because he was selling those drugs. And now people talk about how bad it is with the drugs now and stuff like that. What do you think about that? Like, is that the same? Has it gotten worse? Every generation feels like it's getting worse, but I feel like every generation has their own version of stuff.
I think the 80s went into the crack era.
Right.
That's a totally different thing. Cocaine has been used since the days of Beethoven.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah, so in that aspect, it's the same because people are still using it.
Right.
It's something that wakes you up.
Right.
If you've been drinking and you do cocaine, you're going to be fresh just like when you started.
Right.
It's going to wake you up.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of people use it. But it's just as bad now as it was back then.
I would imagine so. Do you parent Drake?
Now?
Yeah.
No.
You don't parent him anymore?
No.
Now, do you, because my parents parent the hell out of me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they absolutely do.
Yeah.
My mother called me a couple of days ago and said that she was going to send me some underwear.
Oh, really?
And I was like, Mom, at this point, if I'm not buying my own underwear, you fail.
I'm telling you.
All right? But, so, is it because he's too old or is it because he is who he is?
Drake's 31. I mean, I stopped parenting Drake, I would say around maybe 18, 19.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Drake he's a pretty together guy. He's got it together. It's not much that you need to tell him.
Mm-hmm.
You're not telling him anything because he knows.
Right.
Yeah.
In his raps, though, he does give you an inordinate amount of credit for having shaped his worldview and the way he looks at things.
Right.
Like even in songs, I can remember the one amazing song, "Me and the Six," where he's talking about conversations that he's having with his mother.
Right.
And he's sort of explaining things about you to her.
Right.
Which is a song that resonates with any boy that's close with his mom.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. And if especially if their parents are broken up, I remember thinking those exact same things. I would tell my mom stuff about my dad. You know what I mean? But it seems like you still have a relationship where he reveres you and sort of would listen to you if you had input about stuff in his life.
Right. He would listen?
Would listen to you.
Oh, he does. He does. I mean, if I say something, you know what? The only thing about that is it has to be real.
Right.
As long as it's real and it's reasonable and it makes sense, he listens.
Right.
But if he has any doubts about it, he's going to voice his opinion, That's why I don't try to parent him anymore or get involved in his business. He's an entrepreneur. He knows what he's doing.
Right.
He knows exactly what he's doing, so he doesn't need me,
Right. When did you know? Because I have siblings, and every sibling is convinced that their kid is going to cure cancer or go to the moon or something like that.
Right.
And then I'll look at the kid and they'll be eating glue, and I'll be like, probably not that one. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
But like at some point, because you can't tell them. At some point, you had to look at your son and be like there's something super special there. Like, at what point did that happen?
5 years old.
It was the bet?
No, it wasn't the bet. It was just it was something about him. We started him out modeling.
Okay.
In Toys R Us magazines and doing bank banners and things like that. So he was a model at first. And he just had something. I mean, like, he had that it factor, you know what I mean? Like, he always.
Now, do you feel like you were able to see that with more authenticity because you yourself were a successful musician, and because you had been around so many other guys that had that it factor? Was there something that you saw in him that reminded you of maybe things that you had saw in yourself and in other guys?
Yes. Drake was special, like, back then when he was born, I used to practice on piano every night. So I would sit him on the stool with me and just practice while he's sitting there. And I put him to bed, and he did this. This is what made me know he was really special. I put him to bed. Then after he went to bed, I would roll my little joint.
Word.
Yeah, and hit it. Soon as I got high, I'm thinking Drake's sleep. He'll come out every night with something weird. Come out of the bedroom and ask me a question like, I'm high, like, and he come out of the bedroom and ask me like, Dad, how many blades of grass are there in the world? I said, man, if you don't get out up, listen. I said, get back in the bed. This is the type of stuff he used to do. Mm-hmm. I said, something's wrong with this little boy.
Right. Or something's right with this little boy.
But he waited.
Right.
He waited every night until I smoked my little joint, which I did when I was practicing at night, and come out and ask me some kind of weird question. Dad, why is the sky blue?
Right.
Like questions like that. Now,
just to spring them on you while you blaze is crazy
exactly.
Too.
I mean, like I'm thinking,
you're trying to think of the answer. You're like, well, son, I don't know how many blades of grass there are. If we sit down together, I think we can figure it out.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Let's go count them tomorrow.
Yeah,
go back to
sleep. Now, looking back over sort of the career that you have. Are there things that you wish for Dennis Graham personally that you could have or would have done differently?
Not really. I did everything I wanted to do. Like everything. So, nothing I would have done different.
That's important. It's important in life to because I remember when I was thinking about coming out to L.A. and I was putting it off. My dad was like, you're going to put it off until you get to be about 50 years old. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to go to L.A., but it's going to be behind the back of your family or something like that. So you might as well go.
Right.
So you feel like you've pretty well checked off a lot of the boxes.
I have done everything I set out to do.
Do you remember what the things that you set out to do were?
Mm-hmm. I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to perform live in front of people. The only thing that I never accomplished while I was coming up was to record my own song and release it.
Right.
So.
But you've done that now.
I've done that. I got kind of crazy.
You've done that.
Yeah.
How do you stay in it? I mean, how do you keep, like, so many people, right? They have, I heard this quote, right? I'm gonna butcher the quote, but the quote was told me, it's quote told to me, it was like, make sure that your dream hasn't expired. And the point of the quote was that we all have dreams, we all have things that we want to do, but sometimes we get to a point to where our dreams have actually expired and we should have new dreams.
Yeah.
And we don't know that.
Yeah.
It seems that you've been able to maintain focus on the things that you originally set out to do. Mm-hmm. How? Why?
Just pushing forward, making them happen. You have to make things happen. I wanted to do it so badly that I pushed myself to do it, and I did everything that it took to make sure that it happened. So,
right.
How
important was it to you that Drake was successful?
Just as important. I wanted him to do. I wanted Drake to be a lawyer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. You know why that's really interesting? Because he's a Jewish kid.
Yeah.
So
I wanted him to be a lawyer.
You wanted him to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. You wanted him to be a lawyer. So why did you want him to be a lawyer?
I don't know.
By the way, he would have made a dope lawyer.
Oh yeah. It was just something that like Drake. I want to make sure you have enough money in life. Mm-hmm. That was my reasoning.
You wanted to make sure Drake had enough money.
Yeah.
Laugh at that, white people. That's a funny saying right there. He wanted to make sure Drake had enough money. That's hysterical. You know how poor the average lawyer is compared to Drake? We just looked over. We literally just did a segment about Drake's autographed jersey collection.
Yeah.
And the worth of the autographed jersey collection is more than most lawyers will make in a lifetime.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Well, once he hit his plateau, I told him, Drake, forget about the law thing.
Yeah, like, you're good.
Don't worry about that.
You're good.
You know.
When it started working for him, when you realized that it was going to work, because I can't tell you how many ridiculously talented people I know that for some reason it's just not working for them. It's not working. It hasn't worked. And it might not ever work.
Exactly. I know people like that.
Yeah, it's crazy, and you can't put your finger on what it is that they're missing.
It's not meant for them.
It's just not meant for them.
It's not meant for them. That you got to be special. Not saying that all people aren't special,
Right.
but you got to have something that's gonna make your public pay attention to you. And I think Drake has that.
What is it? Do you know?
It's lyrics. I mean, like his lyrics, his style. His style. Michael Jackson was the same way. Elvis was the same way. They all had something that made their public love them. You know, and they love Drake everywhere.
Yeah, without doubt.
Yeah.
So when I first got on TMZ, when I first got on the television show, people would go on the TMZ Facebook. And they would say nasty things about me, right? They'd be like, who is this new militant black guy that you have in here? All he does is defend black people, blah, 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 blah. And every time someone would say something, my mother would respond to them on the Facebook.
Oh, really?
And it got to the point to where I would call my mom up. I'd be like, Mom, what you doing? And she'd be like, oh, nothing. And I'd be like, that's a lie, Mama. Because you just posted on Facebook 2 minutes ago. Go outside and go for a walk now. I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
Now, that's on a small scale.
Right.
For someone that's as criticized as your own son, how do you deal with that? When people say things, he doesn't write his own songs, he's this, he's that. When they try to, for whatever reason, come at Drake, for whatever the criticism may be. Now, you don't even have to speak to anything specific. How do you deal with the negativity that comes along with it?
I know how to deal with it. I look at it or hear it and forget it, which I have tried to instill in him, because Drake was the type of guy that will respond to every single thing that someone said about him.
Right.
And I told him, look, man, you don't let them make you come down to their level.
Right.
You know, just stay humble like you are, and not pay attention to what things people say about you. Don't worry about that. That means nothing.
Right.
You know, they're not gonna get any money for saying that.
Right.
You're not gonna lose any money for them talking. You know, like, so. Always let it go. Never respond to a negative comment. You know.
Interesting.
Yeah. Keep it going. Keep it moving.
What are your opinions on hip hop in general? Do you like, you love and you like rap music?
Yes. That's all. I listen to it every day.
Who do you like besides Drake?
I like a lot of people. Hey, you put me on the spot now.
I'm just asking. You can throw out any name you want.
I like Kendrick.
Kendrick? You like Kendrick?
Yeah. I like God, who else do I like?
Let me ask you a question like this. Can you listen to somebody you know he doesn't like? Meaning, would you listen to like a Meek Mill song?
I don't know any Meek Mill songs. I mean, I'm being honest. I mean, I like Meek as a person. You know, like, I met Meek, and you know, like when all the Young Money gang got together. I couldn't name one of his songs for you.
I bet from your perspective, all the back and forth and stuff like that, that must actually look like kids.
It is
disagree.
Yeah, like little children fighting over a popsicle. You know what I'm saying? You know, like that's all it is.
Right.
Yeah, I think all the beefs that happen.
Sure.
With the rappers, it's like you're being kids.
Right.
Be adults. You have a wonderful career.
Right.
Why belittle yourself and get into a beef with somebody about stupid stuff.
Right.
You know, like it doesn't make sense.
Speak about that a little bit. Back in the G, like when you were performing with some of those really important names, the culture is different musically. I'm sure those guys competed. But was it as sort of aggressive towards one another? Like was it a situation where Isaac Hayes didn't like Al Green or Marvin Gaye was in competition with Lionel Richie? Was that stuff kind of like that? Just kind of a hip hop thing?
I don't know of one incident. Not even one.
Guys, they got along.
Everybody got along. I mean, like, it was love and happiness, you know. So, no, I don't remember any incidents like that.
Interesting. Now, do you, like, give, since he's become a big deal and since your career resurgence has happened, which we're going to touch on a little bit deeper in a second, have other family members sort of come out of the woodworks to be a part of everything?
Yeah, I have a nephew that's a rapper.
Okay. Is he any good?
I like him. I mean,
Right.
he's
Yeah.
my nephew. You know?
right. No, I feel you. But what I mean to say is, it was something that was between you and your son. Is music now? Well, you and your son, and to be honest with you, I guess kind of music has always been the family business, right?
Yeah.
And that's continuing even beyond Drake.
Right. Well, I don't know about beyond Drake.
Right.
Because there's no one else in the family that's really that's started to do music. I mean, unless they're thinking about doing it, you know, now.
Right.
But no, there's nobody beyond him that I know of. You know.
I gotta be real with you. I don't have a musical bone in my body.
Yeah.
But if I was in any way related to y'all, I'd get in the studio.
Yeah, exactly.
I would get on
Exactly.
GarageBand and make some beats.
Yeah.
And just send y'all stuff, man.
Well,
take a shot.
Listen, I get so much stuff. I got
Do you?
people actually coming out of the woodwork. Everywhere I go, they give me CDs. And
if somebody gives you a CD, Mr. Graham, you know that you don't really need to be dealing with that person.
Right.
Because we've moved on technology.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I mean, I threw away so many CDs on the freeway. I threw them out the window on the freeway.
Yeah.
That's how bad they were.
Yeah.
You know, like just driving and throwing them.
Or give them to me and the homies, we'll roll our weed on them.
Yeah, exactly.
No CDs, man.
Exactly.
If you're not giving me links, it's weird. Might as well give me some vinyl.
Exactly.
Now, you're very proud of having your lady with you.
Yes.
You're very proud of having your lady with you. Yeah. Very lovely woman. I've met her. It's the second time I've met her. We were all at a party before.
That's right.
But I would imagine that you're the grandfather of the entire OVO movement. I would imagine that a lot of the Hollywood thotties try to run up on Dennis Graham, Mr. Graham, Mr. Graham.
Of course, yeah. Janelle knows that.
Janelle,
yeah, she was well prepped for it.
She was well prepped for it.
Yeah.
So y'all, so
she's got to understand.
So she understands that they're gonna be coming at Mr. Graham. How do you deal with it? Because there must be. I'm sure there's a lot of people trying to get in your DMs and all of that stuff like that.
Right. Well, when I'm out, Janelle is normally with me.
Sure, yeah. When we see her, every time we see her, I actually point that out on TMZ. I'm like, yo, Mr. Graham is keeping it real here.
Yeah.
Because every time we see, if the camera addresses you,
right,
you make sure that they address her.
Right.
You always keep her in the forefront. That's some old school game. Right
that's what I do with the young ladies who come up to me, and I know if I was just another guy, they wouldn't approach me. But when they do come up to me, how I handle it is hi, let me introduce you to my girlfriend.
Right away.
Like, this is Janelle. This is my girlfriend.
So this is Dennis Graham's advice on how you deal with a Hollywood thot.
Yes.
Introduce them to the girlfriend right away.
Right away. And then they're going on.
They're out.
Their business. They're
out of here.
It's over.
Let me tell you something. If I were to ever get as famous as Drake, and my father moved to LA,
right,
half this fucking city would be pregnant.
Yeah.
You know that I love you, but you know I'm not lying. Half of this city would be pregnant. It would be my dad would be leaving that cowboy hat at apartments all over the place.
Yeah.
So you didn't have any desire to peruse that?
You know what? I lived that life.
You already did.
I already did it. Yeah. I already did. Yeah.
So it really does go, because like people wait for it. People say that, you know, after a certain time that kind of gets out of you. It really does go.
I mean, like, it's the same thing. You know, it's just the exact same thing. I mean, like,
And you got a good woman and you want to hold on to that.
I mean, like, yeah, what do you need somebody else for? You know, I mean,
Jewels.
I've been there. I've been there and done that. So
Now, are you the type of dad that talks to your son and goes, all the lifestyle you're living is great. I love it for you, but eventually one day I want to see you have a wife and a kid and a family and all of that stuff like that? You don't care?
No, it's not that I don't care. It's that's not my business.
No, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I gotta let him handle that one.
Right.
You know, I'm not gonna press him. Oh, I gotta have a grandkid. No, I don't.
You're like, if it happens, cool, but if not,
if it happens, it happens. I mean, like,
right.
live your life. You have a wonderful life. Live that to the fullest.
Right.
Then decide what you want to do later. You know, like.
Is there any particular person that he's ever been connected to that you were hoping that he would settle down with?
No.
Never. Not one particular where you were
I
like,
couldn't say anybody that he's been with that I thought to myself, well, oh God, he should settle down with her.
right.
No.
Yeah, you like them all, but
I love them all. I love every one of them. Yes. But I never thought to myself, like, God, I wish he would be with her.
right.
Now, if you ask his mother,
That's a little different.
yeah, that's different.
That's a little different, but that's
She's
kind
a
of a
little
mama's
different.
role.
Yeah.
Like, how do you think the relationship between you and his mom influenced him as a man and as a musician?
Sandy was a school teacher, so she taught him the book learn sense. So, and I would say the entertainment part, that came from my side.
Right.
You know, because I used to take him with me and let him shake the tambourine on stage as my band was playing with me.
Right.
When he was really little. So
How many different instruments did you teach him? Like, it was the piano, is it tambourine? Like, how, like...
I played drums. Drums was my main instrument. I played piano, bass, and a little bit of guitar. So I tried to teach him piano, but he wouldn't listen. Now he's taking piano lessons.
Right. Should have listened to his daddy.
Yeah.
So you feel like she really was the one, because it's interesting that you would say that, because obviously seeing where he gets the musician part of it, he also takes a very cerebral approach to the way he does most things, right?
Right.
Seems to be more calculated, seems to operate.
Right.
I mean, has the reputation of being an emotional rapper, but seems to operate actually less on emotion.
Right.
And will be more calculated
Right.
than other guys. It seems like it, both things kind of took. Do you feel like because he oftentimes, the way boys describe their mothers and their fathers are almost completely and totally different. The things I remember about my dad is my dad telling me, look a man in the eyes, stand up straight, and all of that stuff, right? And the thing I remember my mother telling me is like, Van, you're a big guy. You're a big dude.
Right.
So when you go into a room, you can actually do things one or two ways. You can either impose your will on everyone in the room,
Right.
and have them afraid of you.
Right.
And the minute that you leave, they'll be happy that you left the room.
Right.
Or you can be gregarious and make sure everyone feels comfortable around you.
Yes. Right.
And then when you leave, they'll wish that you have stayed. And when you become a man, you sort of have to kind of juggle kind of both things, because you have to be resolute with people, but you also have to listen to your mom.
Yeah.
When I hear you described in music, it's always about sort of the influence that you had on him as an artist.
Right.
Even the connection to Memphis.
Right, yeah. I used to take him to Memphis every year. We drive from Toronto to Memphis every summer.
You would drive?
Yes. Yes.
Damn,
yes.
y'all done come a long way.
All right, it's only, 17 hours?
17 hours?
Yeah.
Ain't nobody, what you talking about? You done gone from Canada to Memphis, man. 17 hours?
17 hours.
Well, like, how long did the journey take?
That's what I mean, 17.
So I'm saying, though, but you didn't drive 17 straight, did you?
No.
Right.
No, we stop and get a little motel. When I first started doing it, Drake was in a car seat, a baby seat, car seat.
Right.
And I would drive down every year to see my folks, I can take him. And it's sort of funny that we finally got to the point from a car seat, him coming down in the car seat, to him actually helping me drive. You know what I'm saying? We're arguing about who's going to listen to what on the radio.
Right.
So that.
What did he want to listen to? Do you ever remember, like, stuff that he
What
wanted
did he want to listen to?
Yeah.
Oh, he listened to Jay-Z and Kanye. Drake hipped me to rap. I mean, like, I knew nothing about rap. Like, Drake was the one that turned me on to everybody. So he had everybody. I'll tell you, one group that he introduced me to that I fell in love with was the Fugees.
Ah.
Yeah, he turned me on to them, and I still got them to this day.
But that seemed like it would be very relatable music to you.
Yeah, Lauren.
With Lauren
Yeah.
and the way Clef laid beats down, and even the Roberta Flack cover and all of that stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It seems like that stuff.
Yeah.
That you would be able to get into.
But I hadn't heard of him until he turned me on to them.
So drives from Memphis, those were made as father-son mostly?
Yes.
Just you and him?
Yes, just him and I, yeah. Yeah.
What do you think he got from Memphis? How do you think your hometown shaped him and how you guys' relationship?
Well, we had my cousin Teeny Hodges, Mabin Teeny Hodges, who was the guitar player for Al Green and wrote Love and Happiness and most of Al's songs.
Right.
So when I brought Drake down, we would always go to my family studio. Willie Mitchell, my uncle, owned the studio there. Mm-hmm. And I would take him to the studio. So he got to see some of the biggest people in the world record, like I think we were there one time. Rod Stewart was there.
Wow.
John Mayer's been there. Buddy Guy, Bobby Bland. Like, he got to see some really big people at a young age, so. And I think that had something to do with his music being instilled in him, you know what I mean? Like, he's been around it, every summer for 17 years,
And it was just kind of stuck, and then he takes it to the next level.
Yeah.
So when you decided to sort of jump back full bore and really started putting your music out,
mm-hmm.
what made you decide, okay, now it's time for me to get back out there?
No, I'm not back out there.
You never left?
No, I never left, but I'm not back out there. I don't want to do a tour. I don't want to put an album out. I started liking what I was doing in my studio because I took the time to learn a producer's course. And now, because I did that, I can make beats that I could never have dreamed of before, you know what I mean? And it's so inspiring to me that it's making me sing with it.
Word.
Yes, and now I can sing with the beats that I'm making, which I could never do before. I could sit down and play my bass all night or play the piano all night, but I didn't have that full sound where I could punch a button and put a horn section behind me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's so exciting, the things that I can do now. Since I learned to make my own beats. Mm-hmm. So that's what's exciting for me. But as far as me starting another career. No thanks.
So what's the plan then? So is the plan then to drop singles every
I'm dropping
now and
singles.
again?
Yeah, I'm dropping singles only. I am not going to try to put an album out.
Now you realize though that if you were to put an album out,
Mhm.
you can have anybody on the album you want.
Yes, yeah.
French on the album.
Right, yeah.
Rick
Those
Ross
are all my
on the
people.
album.
All my people, yeah.
All of those guys will work with you. Do you anticipate working with any of those fellas for some of your projects?
Snoop and I was talking, and we're gonna eventually do something together. I haven't come up with it yet. I have a feeling when it's right. You know, when I'm doing things like when I did Kind of Crazy, I felt so wonderful about that, the energy that song had, and now it's number 4. I'm approaching. I'm almost platinum right now.
Really?
Yes.
Y'all give it up for Dennis Graham.
Yeah, I got it.
Hey, Jason. Okay, you know what? Now only Jason. Clap for Dennis Graham. Loud. Loud. I don't feel like that was...
Thank you, Jason. I felt it.
Thank you.
I felt it.
I don't know if that was enough, man. Everybody else was clapping, man. We gotta salute our heroes, man. Jason, look, you know what? You know what's funny? Is that of all the interviews that we've done, this is Lauren's first interview. Like, remember the girl I was telling you about that loves rappers?
Oh, yeah.
And she loves rappers. And so you should have just heard. She's paying attention to the interview because you're dropping gems.
Yeah.
But when she heard like Rick Ross, you should have.
I can introduce you to Rick, Lauren.
Lauren, you want to meet the boss? Lauren, you sure? Mr. Graham, you put you on.
I got you.
So of all of those guys that you've met, obviously these are the biggest names in hip hop and some of the biggest names in hip hop history. Like, what are the most lasting bonds that you feel like you've made? Like, who are Dennis Graham's industry friends? Dudes that you hang around with, dudes that you might not necessarily put on a song, but you might call to like get opinions of a song or something like that, bounce ideas off of, or anything like that.
I can't really think of anyone. Only because this is so newfound for me. Like, I'm learning me right now.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really reaching out to try to find a different piece here or a different piece there. I'm learning what I can do. You know, so yeah. You know,
That's amazing right there.
Yeah.
That's amazing right there. You ever anticipate working with your son in the future on some songs?
I'm hoping that eventually we will do something together, but I haven't pressed him on it.
Can't you just command him?
No.
Can't you just be like? Can't you just be like, hey, guess what? I know all this stuff is nice. Wouldn't have any if it wasn't for me. Need you here at 3:00. We're gonna do this song.
Yeah.
And stop asking me about damn Blazer.
Yeah. You know what? I don't. I don't want to pressure him about that. I mean, I want to leave it to him. And listen, when I do this little thing every now and then on Instagram. I'll go in my studio and put some sunglasses on and maybe a hoodie.
I've seen it.
Yeah. And I'll play a little bit of the song that I'm working on. And let me tell you, within the first 2 minutes, Drake is on the phone.
Interesting.
Yeah, Dad. Man, I love that, man. Man, you listen, Dad. Don't put any more songs out unless you put them out through OVO.
Oh, he wants you on OVO.
Yes, yeah.
So are you on OVO?
Not yet. I have a contract coming. Should be soon. But
interesting. That must feel amazing.
Yeah.
To be able to work with him in a business capacity like that.
Well,
if it happens.
let me say something. Drake has told me things like that before.
Right.
And it's never happened. So
right.
I'm not gonna say that, okay, I'm going to be with OVO, because if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, things are still the same.
I gotta be real with you, man. You the coolest dad ever.
Thank you.
Especially for you're the coolest dad. If it happens, it happens. I could see it right now. Are you signing off? Who is this? Who is Division? All right, who is Roy Woods? How come you haven't signed your daddy? That will be the conversation, the ongoing conversation.
I've been asked that so many times. Like, man, why doesn't Drake sign you?
He signed McConan.
Yeah. And
I gotta believe you're better than McConan. I've heard your music.
I think
Shout out to
McConan did. Only know the one song, "Going Up on a Tuesday." That's it.
No diss to McConan, man. Shout out to McConan.
No, that's my guy. He
Wherever
knows
he
he
is.
is.
He's cool.
He
Shout out to
knows.
McConan. It was a joke. Do you So you don't ever envision yourself touring then? You said you're not going to do any tour. So if you're going to put the music out, would you perform it around town? Like how you going to get it out? You shooting videos? I know you have you've done the video before.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I went to Sweden to do that. Not video. I'm not sure how I'm going to work this. My people love what I'm doing.
Sure, yeah, it's dope.
Yeah, I mean, like they love the feel, because what I did was I took the old school R&B and put a little bit of hip hop flavor in it. So everybody pays attention to it. I see some guys are starting to do it too. They're going back, and since they've been listening, I know where they got it from. I can tell.
They biting?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
There's some people out there.
It's some copying.
That's biting Dennis Graham?
Yes.
No, we doing a Red Pill podcast. Drop names. Give us some names. Who's doing it?
I don't want to call
no names.
I don't want to call any names.
Would you feel like you've influenced actually some contemporary artists right now to change their sound?
I can tell because they're getting those tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Although they're going to sample other people's music. What I'm doing, I'm making myself.
In that style.
Yeah, in that style.
Right.
I'm not copying anybody's music. I'm not. Everything I do is original.
Mm-hmm.
Like all my drums, I create the beats myself. All my piano, I buy some loops.
Mm-hmm.
I'll buy some loops that I need, but
yeah.
Other than that, I create everything myself. Like who was that did the Otis Redding thing? Was it Kanye?
Yeah, that's some time ago. You're talking about Jay-Z and Kanye Watch the Throne, the Otis joint?
Yeah, it did that sample.
Right.
That's what a lot of people are doing now, to try to mix it up like what I do, So.
Feel you. My parents divorced in 2002. I was already 22 at that point, had left college.
Mm-hmm.
So the actual split of them not being together didn't affect me very much because I was a grown man, old enough to see the problems in relationships that people can have, and I think I just wanted more than anything for people to be happy. But what is important and what was important for me was that they got along, because everything that happens in my life, because we don't have one singular family unit, now has to be a 50-50 split, right? So now you got to meet somebody, then you got to meet somebody, you all meet them together. Are you on good terms with Drake's mom?
Oh, by all means. Oh, yes. By all means. We have dinner together.
My parents ain't having no dinners.
Yeah, we have dinner together. We go out together. She comes to our house.
What?
And, yeah, she comes to the house.
You are girlfriend of the year. I love this relationship.
Yeah,
you guys are so mature,
Yes. We hang out together. We're a family. This is a family.
That's amazing.
That's a unit that I won't allow to be broken. So.
And you feel like that's probably pretty important to him, and
it is very important. I mean, there's no reason for anybody that I'm with or anybody that Sandy's with to have any kind of jealousy or any ill thoughts about us communicating with one another.
Yeah.
We have a kid together. My girlfriend has a 9-year-old daughter.
Oh.
And I make sure, I want 1,000% for Janelle's 9-year-old daughter to be with her father.
Right.
I mean, it was already there.
Right.
But there's no way that I would have any ill thoughts about, well, I don't want Dave over here. Dave comes to our house and he has dinner. He sits at the table with us and have dinner. I mean, you got to do that.
Right.
You know, you got to do that for the children. You know, like there's no way that Sandy and I are the best of friends.
Best of friends.
And always will be.
Very important. So you have this air about you, right? And it's an air that's very familiar to me.
Mm-hmm.
One, because you're from the South, and also because you're an old school brother.
Right.
And like, you know, being around my dad, my uncles, and my cousins and stuff like that, I know the difference because I feel like my uncles, they have like genuine swag, right?
Right.
I'll tell you a quick story. So one day, me and my Uncle Craig are at a Piggly Wiggly, Louisiana. We're leaving the Piggly Wiggly.
Yeah.
I'm talking to him about a baseball game that I had circa 1996. This is happening.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking to him about a baseball game that's happening. We leave the Piggly Wiggly, and he looks at a woman, and she's standing there. And we get to the car, we pull out, and he pulls up next to her. He rolls the window down. He looks at the woman. He says, "Yo, is there somebody coming to pick you up?" And she goes, No. I'm good. I'm waiting for one of my girlfriends. And he goes, "You can't possibly have a man." And she goes, "Why?" She's like, "Because if it was your man, you'd be in the car with him, or else you'd be at home, and he would be delivering these groceries to you.
Right.
And let me show you how a real man takes care of his woman. Get in his car." And I'm thinking, this is highly inappropriate. You know what happened?
She got in the car.
She got in that car.
Yeah, exactly.
She got in that car. So it's just a different way of moving.
Yeah, it's the message that you deliver to a person, which lets them know that you are not a threat. You know, if they consider you a threat, well, they're not going to come near you, of course. But if they feel comfortable enough with what you're saying, and know that you're not going to harm them, you know, like.
Do brothers still have that, or is that gone? Has that feeling of being able to look at someone, because you know you might want to do whatever with them, but the feeling of making someone feel safe and making someone feel even beautiful, that it seems like the men in my family can do it. It seems like you are able to foster all of these relationships where everyone feels comfortable and everyone's good. Right. Do we still have that?
I haven't seen that in a long time. I mean, to be honest with you, this generation here is quite different. It's quite different. I mean, there's no
is the romance there?
Chivalry.
It's gone.
It's gone. I don't know if the romance is. I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know what girls are looking for today. You know,
feel like they're looking for something different?
Yeah. I mean, they're looking for rappers, Lauren. No, I'm joking. No, Van started this. Tell him, true. Make him stop it.
And it's true. They're looking for rappers. Okay. Shout out to Rich the Kid. But yeah. So because that's important. It's in like it, and it seems like because you know when you listen to Drake songs, a lot of the songs early on, they were very emotionally honest. You know what I mean? And it, you know, obviously Ye was doing some of that stuff. Yeah. Ye was talking about things that were really, you know, emotionally impactful to him. But Drake took it to the next level. I remember listening to Marvin's Room. Do you know that record?
Yeah, of course.
Like Marvin's Room.
Yeah.
And Marvin's Room is something that we've all done but never admit to doing.
Right, exactly.
Every dude has drunk dialed his girl and just completely submitted to her while she's sober.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's a difference that if everyone leaves the party and you call her and you say, "I love you," and she says, "You know what, I love you too," and you're both drunk. But when you call her and you're drunk and she's sober, she sees this as an opportunity to give you the real.
Yes.
Which is what happened on that song. I don't remember the flack from that record was such as like that's the softest stuff I ever heard before. Like, how could you express your true emotions and your true feelings and stuff like that to a woman? And now you kind of see that, number one, that's changing hip hop. Everybody's putting that stuff on. But, you know, you can kind of see from you and just how cool you are that it doesn't seem like he gives a damn about how he's.
He doesn't.
perceived.
I mean, you got most of your haters are not going to admit. I mean, that hey, I like what this guy is saying. I like what this dude is talking about. They're gonna try to be big and tough, and yet they'll listen to the song and use some of the words to go and tell their own girlfriends.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah, that's the way that works. So.
What's the dopest Drake lyric ever to you?
Oh God, that's so.
I know what my favorite Drake verse is.
Oh, okay.
I know what my favorite Drake verse is. Actually, I'm gonna ask some of you. Lauren, what's your favorite Drake verse? Okay, well, first of all, can we hear Lauren right now? Lauren, come get on the mic. Red Pill Podcast, I'm introducing you to Lauren because she might be doing some stuff with us in the future.
So
just
glad
with
you
her
stay here.
her
Okay.
love of rappers. Yeah, Lauren, what's your favorite Drake lyric?
I think my favorite. I wouldn't. So if I go back to like fireworks, like that.
God.
What?
Go for it.
You don't like that song?
I do, but
I like that song.
yeah, go for it.
And even though like what was Fancy? Even though that was like.
Fancy's dope.
Yeah, I mean, but that was the one that was all over the radio, so a lot of people probably got tired of it. But I know with that song, like his music brings you back to times. Like I listen to that, and I'm like back in college, getting dressed with my friends, and like you just listen to his words, and he makes you feel like, oh, you are fancy, like you got it. Like, all right, girl, you about to go take over the world. And a lot of music nowadays, you don't get that. Like you get to turn up, you might take a couple shots, have fun, but there's no connected feeling. Like. So I have from that time to like Worst Behavior, like that song again, it brings back memories. Like even with Started From the Bottom, like you connect with it. It's so many different songs I could take
And
you
you
through
don't
it.
like rappers.
I like the I like
White
the
girl
music.
Lauren, the Hollywood snowflake, is here too. Laura, excuse me. Sorry, I called you Lauren. A white girl Laura, the Hollywood snowflake, is here. She actually made this interview possible. Laura loves hip hop.
Yeah.
I'm just want to know from the ladies, what's your favorite Drake lyric? What's your favorite Drake verse?
It's happening, Penny Lane, just like you said.
That's a Drake song?
Yeah, it's in a Drake song.
Yeah,
It was a lyric I heard years ago when I was debating moving out to LA, and I just really needed that extra push because that's what people were calling me at the time, and it was my confirmation.
Damn, these are some deep answers.
Is that where you got the Penny Lane from?
No, I had it
Oh, you
before,
had it
but when
already.
I heard it, it was like, there's your go ahead, go follow your dreams,
Oh,
go take
okay,
it.
beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah.
That was on the Thank Me Later album.
All right, that's enough. It's about Dennis. You know what I mean? So, but you don't particularly have a favorite that you can remember.
I love everything he's done. I love everything.
You never heard a song you didn't really like.
I never heard one I didn't like.
Every single song you like.
I love every one of them. Even the ones where he's making fun of me sometimes. You know.
You never heard a record and you've been like, he took a little shot there, like you feel.
Yeah. I have gotten on him about a couple of them.
Which ones?
I can't remember which ones. I mean, listen, what are you doing? Dad, listen, man, this sells records.
Right.
Okay,
There you go.
there we go. We just worked it out. You know.
It's dope.
Yeah.
So you brought me some stuff.
Yes, I did.
Let's
I
see.
brought you a
Oh yeah.
it's that kind of crazy T-shirt.
So tell us what Kind of Crazy is.
Kind of Crazy is my single that can be viewed on YouTube. It is all over the world for sale. It's number 2 in France.
In France?
Yes.
You didn't go on international.
Yes, it was number. I think it may have made number 1 in Africa. I think. So it's all over the world. Yeah.
So you're blowing up.
Yeah.
You're having T-shirts made,
Yeah.
but no album.
No album. No.
Instagram,
This
you about
one.
to drop this album.
This one I brought for Laura.
Laura, look at Laura,
Yeah.
the Hollywood snowflake. Come get your
Brought you a kind of crazy T-shirt.
right there. Look at Laura.
You
Laura,
are,
the Hollywood
honey.
snowflake right there. They also got this, Virginia
Yes.
Black.
Virginia
Let's pop this
Black. Take me back.
You got some liquor. I can't take a shot. The last time we had a conversation, it was at Dame Dash's party,
Right.
All-Star Weekend. I had eaten 3 edible cookies, and three because here's what happened. Steven Jackson and Al Harrington came to TMZ, and they did this thing where they were promoting their weed line, Viola.
Okay.
Shout out to those brothers.
Yeah.
And they gave some weed cookies, and I was hungry, super hungry, and I ate 3 of the cookies.
Wow.
So I ate 3 of the cookies. I go to the party, and I'm there at the party, at Dane's party, and then I have 3 glasses of Cavassier.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there talking to you, listening to everything that you say, and I'm thinking, does Mr. Graham realize that I'm slurring my words right now? Like, where am I at?
No, I noticed you disappeared. I didn't see you.
I disappeared because I had to get out of there. Like it wasn't even. I actually apologize for that.
No, it's all good.
I disappeared because like at one point I'm sitting there and Styles P was at the party.
Oh, yeah.
And I legitimately walked over to Styles P and I was like, yo, Jada, I love your music, man. I'm a huge fan of the Locks. And I love Styles P. Look at little Lord, I knew I already spoke to Styles, but I did that because I was going off the edibles.
Yeah.
But now it's time to be going off this Virginia Black. Yo, look at this.
Yes.
Look at this Virginia Black,
That's
man.
Drake's new liquor line. It's available in all the stores.
So are
It's all over the
you're
world.
working? This is now whose liquor line is this? This is Drake's liquor.
Yeah.
So what? I mean, what?
Drake,
so if I
Drake's-
drink,
it's a whiskey. It's
whiskey.
actually the smoothest whiskey I've ever tasted
Smooth.
in my life. Yes.
Let me smell it. Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah. See?
I mean, I've never been a brown liquor drinker, but
What?
never ever.
How do you don't drink brown liquor? You from Memphis, dog?
No, I've never drank a brown liquor.
What's your drink of choice?
Pinot Grigio.
This dude here,
I mean, come on, bruh.
Pinot Grigio. This dude here. No wonder you raise a unicorn. You're not like it's weird. This guy here. Really, no brown liquor from Memphis, man.
You
This
know
is
what?
dope.
I've tasted Remy. I've tasted Cavassier.
Smells like a number 1 hit.
But it always made me not like it.
Right.
But that is smooth.
You like it?
That is so smooth. I can drink that so easily.
You just how much of this do you drink?
Well, I mean, not much.
Right.
Not much. I mean,
I will say this though. I'm gonna put Mr. Graham on Front Street a little bit. This is the second time we attempted to do this. The last time we were supposed to do it was last week. We were supposed to have the interview, and Dennis hit me up like, "Yo, this is the best excuse for missing the interview ever." Dennis goes, "Yo, Van, I was partying with Snoop till like 5 a.m.
yeah. So you know what it
I
is.
can't make it." All right, we're gonna let you get out of here, but I'm gonna ask you one question before you go. Right there, there's the Virginia Black, you guys. I'm gonna try it tonight, and if I don't come back with a number 1 hit after drinking this Virginia Black,
You will.
then it's not. What is the one thing you've heard? I'll ask you 2 questions. One about you, one about Drake. What's the one thing that you've heard about Drake that somebody said that is the most untrue? Like they talk about him, they say things, and it's the most. They got him wrong. They got him all fucked up.
Oh, the lyrics thing. That he doesn't write his own lyrics. That's the most thing that stands out in my mind. That's not true. Him writing his own lyrics, because I have sat with him and I have been around him on his BlackBerry. Him just going, writing. And he'll get up in the middle of a gathering or whatever, and he's gone because he had a thought. You know, he has thoughts and he has to go write them down real fast. But that's one of the most things that's not true.
When people say that, you already said that you don't dwell on the negative stuff.
Right.
But in any way, do you just wish that you could be like, yo, I've seen this. I know this to be not a thing.
No, I wouldn't give them the satisfaction. Go ahead, say what you want. You know, whatever. You know what? I'll tell you something. What made me stop responding to people like that? I never forget this, and I never, since that day, let anybody change my emotions or thought patterns in any way. I was in an airplane, flying, and I looked down and saw You know, when you're flying, you cannot see a person walking down the street.
Right.
That's because we're smaller than ants from up there.
Right.
Much smaller. Why would I let something that small faze me at all?
Especially when you're flying.
Ever? No, not just. It's just that me being up that high and not being able to see anybody down there. Yeah, I mean, like, why would I let your ego bother me? That's how small people are. And then you would somehow allow someone else's thoughts to make you go all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No way.
And for you, we're all looking for something, right? And people talk about looking for fame, looking for money, looking for influence. But what we're really all looking for is youth.
Right.
The one thing that is consistent about all human beings is that our youth is robbed from us. It's a precious gift that we get. And you know that it's a truly precious gift because when it's given to you, you can't appreciate it.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's the cruelest trick of man is that it takes age to appreciate youth. You have a youthful spirit.
Thank you.
You're wise, but you have a youthful spirit.
Sure.
How does everyone stay as young as Dennis Graham?
It's actually all in the mind. I mean, like, I won't allow myself to get old until I'm old. You know, like, I don't care how old I am. I mean, I say, for instance, if I was 75 and I still have all of my body functions and I'm able to go out and do whatever I want to do, I'm doing it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna slow down. Like Drake will tell me sometimes, Dad, take your old ass home. Drake, there's nothing old about me but this suit that I got in the closet at home that I had from a long time ago.
Word.
So,
yeah, you actually said that at the party. You were like, you said, let the rest of them get old.
Yeah, exactly. They can get old if they want to. You know, I'm not going.
You're not.
I'm not going.
You're going to stay young.
I'm going to try.
I'm telling you, man.
And don't let them create that youth pill while I'm still living.
You going to take it?
Yeah, I'm taking it.
You taking the youth pill? Y'all, give it up for Dennis Graham, man.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
We learned so much, Mr. Graham. We appreciate you joining us on the Red Pill podcast, man. That was amazing. Man, 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 that was amazing.